Hey Jessicats, I hope you're all having a happy and productive week. So today I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you about an issue that I feel is really relevant to a lot of you guys, whether you're in high school or university and college, or even if you've finished studying and you're now in the workforce. I think it's really important that we can all come together and support each other, and so I wanted to take this week's episode and talk to you about peer pressure, because I feel like it's something that everyone deals with at some point in their life, and I really just wanted to be able to be that support for you guys and also allow you all to write your suggestions in and also your own personal experiences. So if you want to go ahead and do that in the comment box below, I think that's really awesome, because then we can all just support each other and be one big happy Jessicat family. So I was actually chatting with a really good friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about peer pressure and whether we remember any particular times where we experienced it and what sort of strategies worked for us. So I wanted to share them with you today, because I think that it's not always a one-fits-all approach when it comes to dealing with peer pressure. It doesn't always work to tell everyone to do just one simple tip. So I wanted to give you a few different kinds of suggestions that can work for you, and if you find it helpful, then give this video a thumbs up and also share it with your friends on social media, and yeah, let's just support each other. So I don't really have a particular structure for this episode. I kind of just wanted to let my mind run, I guess, and just share with you my own personal experience and also what's worked for me. But I think it's really important to address what is peer pressure and kind of how it comes about as well. So I found that when I was studying psychology, it kind of put different challenges that I experienced when I was younger all into perspective. And the whole thing behind peer pressure is that you're more likely to do something that you don't really feel comfortable doing, or that you wouldn't have done otherwise, because you want to fit in. You don't want to be judged by your peers, and especially when you're a teenager and you're younger, it's really common that you define who you are. You define your identity and your sense of self-worth according to where you are in a social ladder. It's just really important to be aware of why it is that some people are more likely to give into peer pressure, and that way it's easier to also kind of catch yourself out on it and not be so easily influenced by what other people around you are doing. So there are a couple of different issues that revolve around peer pressure, whether it's doing something like getting involved in drinking and drugs, or just doing things with your body that you wouldn't have done at that particular age. And I think it's really important to remember that once you do something, you can't take it back. It can't be undone. And so it's really important that you stay true to yourself, and that you don't just follow what everyone else is doing, or follow the herd. It's okay to be that black sheep. I've experienced peer pressure when I was younger, but I still experience it today, because even though I'm in my 20s, I encounter it on a really regular basis. I've never been one to drink. I just don't like the effect that it has on my body. I find that it just stirs up my emotions, and I also have felt anxious in the past, and I find that drinking, considering it is a depressant, ends up making me feel more lousy. And so I'll go to parties and everyone will still comment, oh Jess, why aren't you drinking? But at the end of the day, if it's not right for my body, it's just not something that I'm gonna do. So I've been pretty lucky, because when I was younger, a lot of my really close friends didn't drink either. So when we were like 15, 16 and going to parties, I didn't really happen to be the one that was left out or excluded, because I was able to just hang out with those friends. So that brings me to my first tip, which is that if you happen to also know a couple of other friends that are in the same boat as you, then it can be really good to sort of partner up or buddy up with them and hang out with them a little bit more, because it takes the pressure off of just you, and it sort of just dissolves amongst the group of you. So whilst I specifically experience peer pressure around drinking, I know a lot of other people experience it around getting involved in relationships. So I know that when I was in high school, I can remember a lot of my friends saying that they wished they had a boyfriend, and I didn't really agree with them, because I don't think that you need another person to make you feel valuable or increase your self-esteem, or even just help you up a social ladder. I just don't think that it's necessary. I think that you are good enough exactly how you are, and you don't need another person to boost your self-esteem. So I think it's important, if you're not ready to get into a relationship, that you can identify that and just accept that and say that's totally fine, because when you find the right person that you want to be in a relationship with and that likes you back, then you're going to be genuinely happy, and it's not a means to an end, which is to increase your social power in a group. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter why you're experiencing peer pressure as much as how you handle it. So it's really important that you have self-confidence and that you stick to your own morals and values, and that you don't feel the need to do what other people are doing for fear of being judged or isolated. I know it's really hard though, because this is something I was talking to my friend about recently, that, you know, if you do stand up for what you believe in and you happen to be the only one that doesn't want to drink or that doesn't want to go to a particular party, then it's really challenging because there is that fear of being isolated. And I think that that's why it's also important to know where your support systems are. So to feel comfortable telling an adult or talking to, you know, a close friend of yours, or even a relative that you feel that you can trust and confide in. Because at the end of the day, if you're going through a challenging time, it's really important that you don't bottle it up as well. And often people can give you some really great advice, especially if they know the people that are making you feel uncomfortable. I think that the other important thing to remember though is whatever it is that you don't want to do, it's not necessary in order for you to have fun and enjoy your life and grow up having a great childhood or, you know, years of being a teenager. I mean, I don't drink and I still go to parties and I have a lot of fun and I get to interact with all my friends and I'm social. So you don't have to drink, you don't have to do drugs, you don't have to have a boyfriend when you're really young if you don't feel comfortable doing it. You can just be you and be happy. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just really important that you don't stray from your own morals and values, because you need to feel good about the person that you are and the person that you're becoming. And I really hope that these tips and just today's episode makes you feel like you're not alone, and that you know that everyone experiences peer pressure. I experienced it, I still experience it to this day, and it's just important that we can all be open and honest with each other, and just know that what we're creating is another support system for everyone to come together, and, you know, just know that you're not alone and we're all here. And I just really hope that these tips helped you. So if you found today's episode helpful, then give it a thumbs up to let me know. And I'm going to be making some more study tip episodes for my channel next week, but I also want to be covering a couple of different important topics or issues that are relevant to all of you guys. So if you have any other suggestions for different issues you want me to talk about, then leave a comment in the box below. I know I talked about bullying in a previous episode, but if there are any other topics or ideas that you have, then I'd love to hear them. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next Wednesday for another study tips episode. And if you want to check out more behind the scenes and find out more about me, then you can also subscribe to my personal channel, Life with Jess, and I'll link that down below. All right, Jessicats, have a happy and productive week. I love you. Bye.